Hello and welcome back to the Checkpoint Reach podcast. I'm your host Luke Eldon. As ever, I'm joined by my fellow gamers and friends Sudden Perks. How you doing, guys?
Pretty
Not
good.
bad.
Good.
Another week, another podcast.
Another week, another
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
It's the
Another
classic.
exciting week of gaming.
A gaming for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
exciting might not be the word.
maybe not
because,
exciting.
This is the part where we do usually talk about what we've played in the past week, and it was the same as last week,
Pretty much.
but there have been some events for Perkins on FIFA 20.
Events. Yeah, that's it. In your words, I'm no longer the king.
He is no longer the king.
I've been dethroned.
To be fair, James Perkins, you used to be a very good FIFA player.
Every year,
I
on
used
year,
to feel
just
like
progress.
I'd go into any game feeling like I could beat anybody,
Yeah.
and now I go into every game feeling like everybody's going to beat me. So it's been a rough start across all game modes. Club,
Yeah.
ultimate team,
Yeah.
it's been a disaster.
How is your ultimate team record?
It's slightly skewed because I've got a lot of wins against the AI.
Yeah.
Even on the higher difficulties, like playing on ultimate's easy. You
Yeah.
play against a human player, it's just look box after look box. I'm sick of it already. But my first 15 games in ultimate team this year, 1 win, 14 defeats. With a goal difference of
scrub.
something like minus 58 or whatever it was. Every game I just conceded 4 goals.
It's like Derby County in 2008.
I know.
Remember?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
it-
lost it at the start of the
yeah,
season.
they got like 2 wins all season. Or
What's
something.
going on, man?
That's gonna be me, but I don't know.
You're
Like,
the classic player. Do you know when like someone becomes too old but they keep going?
that, I
And
can't-
people are like, you have to
Yeah.
retire
Yeah,
now.
it's time
you
to
have to
retire.
retire.
Yeah. I'm
going
the Ric
close.
Flair of FIFA. It's just going on, but
Is that how
I
you
don't
celebrate
know.
if when you get a win? Just take off your jacket and elbow it.
elbow drop the floor. I feel like elbow dropping the game, but I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna persevere. I will. The caveat with this is that I'm playing with a trash team against people that have spent
Yeah.
and stupid.
It is
amount
mad
of
though.
money
After
already.
a day, you look at some people's teams and it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
informal.
Aguero and Aubameyang up front.
Yeah,
and
it's
De
like-
Bruyne
Yeah.
and like.
I can't compete with that. I got like Ben
That's
Chilwell, who is a good player, but compared to
Yeah.
other people's
Scotland,
teams,
Tomley defensive mid, little rat
Yeah.
running around the pitch.
yeah,
So,
the rat.
he's quite good actually. He's not bad.
That doesn't actually surprise me. I remember back in the day when I had that bin team on like Ultimate Team, well, FIFA 14 or 13.
MLS team.
Yeah.
MLS team, I had Beckham and so I won like 49 games straight, and
Yeah.
you didn't believe me when
I
I,
didn't-
said
no, I didn't
Beckham
believe
had
it.
scored a shit ton of goals because that was when Beckham was like
Yeah, I mean, he had
38.
like one of the best crosses of all time.
Yeah, but he was playing centre mid, mate, and he couldn't move really.
He was a goal scorer.
But then
That's a
you
good
checked
goal.
his stats,
Yeah.
because you didn't believe me, and there it was, David Beckham. He like scored, I don't know, a lot. To be
Credit
fair.
to you though, it felt unbelievable.
It
Yeah.
did.
It
Yeah.
didn't seem like
It was
something.
a normal day
that would
Beckham,
work.
like an informed Beckham.
Normal.
Just yeah.
And my strike force was like Demba Ba when he was at Newcastle, I think.
Yeah, he was a cheat.
I can't remember
He was
it,
cheap.
but I had two tall guys. I think I had Lukaku actually. 'Cause
Probably
I
back
think
then.
it was on the one where if you just crossed it in, you scored
Yeah.
a header.
Well, the
Yeah,
thing about-
it was Lukaku and Benteke. Everyone
Yes.
had them in a 2-up.
Yeah.
The other thing about them two is they had that like they weren't really fast, but they had a little bit of pace as well,
Yeah.
a tiny bit of pace so they could get.
So
by
they
as
could.
well. Yeah.
Everyone has Mbeni Yang. This
Really,
year.
I hadn't noticed that.
There's a few objectives to begin with that relate to having Ligue 1 players
Ah, right.
and or scoring goals with
Yeah.
them in or 2 in a game
Yeah.
3 times or something like that. And yeah, Niang is
Well,
it's
it
like
makes sense,
89
doesn't it?
pace, tall.
It makes sense to have
yeah,
like a League
cheap.
One team because the Premier League teams are the most expensive as usual.
Yeah, well,
Like
yeah.
left and right backs are like 4,000, like terrible left and right backs. They cost
That
like
doesn't
4,000
surprise
each.
me.
It's like, come on.
It'll sell though. Like
It will,
early
yeah.
early transfer market's always ridiculous.
Yeah.
If you're buying a team now, you're scamming yourself basically.
Yeah.
Just wait a week or so.
True, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just quickly on me. I played a bit of FIFA. That's it, really.
Yeah.
Played a bit of club with you guys, but
Yeah.
I've been busy mainly. So unfortunately, yeah, nothing new to report there.
No.
But you've played a bit more Borderlands.
Yeah, I've obviously been playing FIFA with you two a little bit as well. Played a
Yeah.
couple of team games, didn't go well, but yeah, Borderlands a little bit.
I'm not the only one.
No, I think we'll go for me. I
No
mean,
fit-
just my
especially
little,
on this table,
my
mate.
little FIFA is I was 2-0 up after 20 minutes or whatever it was. You know, when it's like, oh, your
Yeah.
control's low, so I thought, oh, well, there was a replay on. I
Oh,
pressed the
no.
guide button
Oh,
quickly,
no.
went back on. Oh, disconnected. 3-0.
Oh
No,
no!
Timed out, 3-0 loss, and then I lost the next game like 3-0 and got battered. So
I mean, at least I'm just honest. I admit that I got beat.
Oh, He doesn't believe you.
You don't believe
the
me.
excuses.
Blaming
You
lag.
know about that timeout thing. You've seen it. 12
I've
seconds.
seen it.
Seconds. You get 12 seconds. It used to be 30, didn't it? I think.
There is a thing like if you go idle through pressing the guide button, at least on the Xbox, you seem to get timed out a hell of a lot quicker than you should.
Weird. I don't know why.
It seems strange.
Especially
They won't fix
we
it.
play
though.
people on club who stand there for about 45 seconds at kickoff,
Yeah.
and they don't get timed out.
Or like taking goal kicks or whatever it is. I mean, I will say just quickly on FIFA, I mean, we could do a whole podcast on the problems this year. It's not great. Everyone is complaining, but they're all complaining about the career mode.
Yeah,
I've seen
the
that.
glitches and the problems with that.
Trending, wasn't it? Like
Yeah.
save
Fixed career mode
or
on day one. So it's like all their efforts, and they've actually addressed it pretty quickly. I think it was on like day 2 of the actual release. They said they're going to fix career mode, so great.
Yeah, everyone cares.
And all their efforts are going to be put into that side of the game. So everything that like I or we perceive to be
No, never
problems
gets fixed.
in the core gameplay, it's never going to change.
No,
So
it's
I
gonna be a while.
think like
No.
if I'm bad now, I'm going to be bad.
Bad forever.
I'm going to be bad in a month. Like, there's no point.
Yeah.
But yeah, just quickly on Borderlands, I played it a little bit more. I'm only on the second planet. It's kind of like a city planet. But yeah, I like it. I like it. It feels like Borderlands. Although, I was just saying off air to Perks, there's something that feels a bit off about it. I don't know what it is. I can't even pinpoint it yet. There's something that just feels off about the game in total. I don't know what it is yet. I need to
feel
play
like
it more.
sometimes though when you play a third installment or just a
doesn't feel-
a sequel, sometimes it doesn't have the same magic. Even though it's a good
It
game,
doesn't feel like
it
that.
just doesn't.
It feels a
grip you.
little bit flat, almost, at the minute.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to progress more, maybe areas get better, but like the first area I thought it was a bit, That first area
The first area is
it's a bit
typical.
boring,
It's
a bit
it's Pandora
safe.
though, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
you've
it's
seen
not-
it all before.
The second area seems like it'll be more interesting because it's more of a
Yeah, I will
landscape.
say, like, regardless of your opinion of the game, all the planets are very different. Like,
Yeah.
the
Yeah, that's what I'm
landscapes are
hoping for, yeah.
completely different. So you've got at least a bit of variety to look
Yeah.
forward to.
Yeah.
To be fair, I had the same, and I think you might have had the same with Red Dead too. That first mission, man, in the snow or
It was slow.
up in the
It was
snow,
slow.
I thought I wasn't going to be able to carry on.
Really? Wow.
I was so bored,
See,
bored to tears.
I didn't feel like that because I knew the game was going to get better. Like I kind of expected it to be slow at first. I was like, I know it's going to get better, so I kind of persevered that way. But yeah, with Borderlands, I agree with you slightly though about the villains. Them two main villains, I'm not convinced. They might get better maybe, but the jokes come across a bit.
If you don't like them at the beginning, you're not going to like them at
It's a
the
bit
end.
corny,
They
a
don't
bit
change.
cheesy,
Yeah.
it's a bit-
It's going to stay that way.
The
for you
things they do,
throughout.
it's like you were saying about the stream, and it's like I just don't know about this. See, I like the other characters' jokes. Like you've got like the the main character, like the Ellies and the Lilith and the Vaughns and people like that. So far,
Yeah.
I've seen they're funny. Like their interactions are funny with each other and with you and your character, because your character speaks now, which I think actually can helps the jokes a little bit as well. Rather than in
Yeah.
Borderlands 2, it was just like you were mute and it was like you didn't really say
Just reminds
anything
me
back
of
to
GTA
them.
3.
Yeah.
I want you to go and do this for me, yeah? Can you do it? And you
Yeah.
guys just like,
Yeah, see,
walked
that's
off.
always a bit annoying. It feels more authentic because you're actually interacting with them. But
I always prefer a voice
I
protagonist.
don't.
They have a
Yeah.
few lines. They don't have a great deal.
No,
At least
your
you say
character.
something.
Yeah, they don't
but
speak much. They
It's
just say the
very,
odd thing now and
very
again.
short
Yeah.
and sharp.
Yeah, but yeah, the villains they don't seem to fit so far. Doesn't feel like Borderlands. It's something about it. I don't know what it is. They feel like they. Do you know what they feel like to me? They feel like villains off like Far Cry.
They
Something
definitely
or a
fit
game
in
like
Far
that.
or a
Cry.
bit wacky.
Yeah, and they don't really.
To be fair, I mean,
know.
every Borderlands villain
Yeah.
is a bit wacky. They're a bit out there. I just think they had such a hard path to follow. Handsome Jack was one of the best villains of all time.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
He was
going
so
from
charismatic.
that and
To
all
these.
this time as well in
It's like
between.
Star Wars for me. I mean, I know I haven't played Borderlands, but just going off the villains quickly.
Yeah.
So when you think of Vader, and then you think of the new villains, they just never live up, do they?
No.
When you've
Yeah.
had someone who's like the best.
Well, yeah, exactly. The
It's
bar
always
set so
hard.
high,
Yeah.
and then you get like a Count Dooku, who's
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. It just doesn't have the same feel. Yeah. So maybe it's that. Maybe that's why you don't like the villains as much.
Maybe.
Judging them against a very,
Yeah.
like you mentioned, the best one.
I don't. I just don't like the whole. It feels like they're kind of trying to be all hip and cool, the writers, and it's like. I
To be
understand when
fair,
people say
though-
no, some of the writing's a bit.
The character,
So far,
well,
not-
to be fair, what they've gone for is very hip. It is in the
Yeah,
trend now,
no,
isn't it? I
but-
mean, streaming, YouTubing.
But it doesn't seem like it's working because this is like even people like everyone's pretty universally saying not really keen on these villains,
Yeah.
so it's clearly not working. they're trying to go for a hit vibe, and no one's liking it. So why not just stick to the try? And
Honestly, like I
and
just
test
have
it.
to reinforce what I said last week. I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea. I think the writing may come across as weak because they tried to make the characters obnoxious and annoying. You want them off the screen.
Yeah.
So if it's missed, it's not because it's a bad idea. I really don't think that. I just think I understand why people aren't loving it, but I don't think it's like a bad development choice.
Yeah.
Maybe just could have done with a bit more refinement.
Well, I think what you just mentioned then is a good way to segue into our first topic of the day, actually, with development choices and stuff like that. And devs defended themselves because Call of Duty Modern Warfare dev has asked fans to consider developers in wake of outrage. This is over the year-long PlayStation 4, the brilliant PlayStation 4.
PlayStation 4's
Love
great
that.
console.
I'll start that again. This is over the year-long PlayStation 4 exclusive Spec Ops survival mode and the rumoured microtransactions. How do we feel about this? Because obviously there has been a lot of people. I mean, there's been Xbox gamers I've seen saying they're going to boycott the game because of the Spec Ops.
Always makes me laugh.
Yeah,
We've
but they
seen
won't.
No, they won't. And we've seen one. I can't remember if he was a community manager or something for Activision or something like that, but said it was like 1% of the game. It was only 1% of the game. Well, it's not though, is it? It's more than 1% of the game.
Yeah,
that's just going to anger more fans.
I reckon they're probably talking to the metrics.
Yeah.
Like it'll end up being that'll be 1% of everything that's played. Like most people will play campaign and then they'll probably play multiplayer, and only a few. Like it'll be a low percentage that goes into Spec Ops compared to multiplayer or campaign. So that's probably where he's getting that stat from. But
problem is,
realistically, it's not 1%.
When you got a pissed off fan base, don't give them more ammunition basically to sit around and go, no, that's not.
You don't want to be like behind before the game even launches.
I agree with that.
From like a community goodwill point of view.
And it looks good, the game.
Yeah,
we've already said how much we
talked about the trailer
look forward to it.
Great, so it's one of them, isn't it? That I can understand why he's kind of come out like this, because I do think a lot of people aim their criticism at the wrong people a lot of the time. I think you get a lot of hate towards the developers. Talking about, for example, especially with the microtransactions, because it's like, well, the microtransactions aren't their decision.
No,
we know that's the
Activision,
publisher.
yeah.
I mean, even with the time mode, the time they don't make that decision.
No.
If it was up to them, they'd probably rather everyone had it at the same time. But as we know,
marketing and money.
Sony have come in and bought it. So
yep.
And I don't think Xbox play. It's a little bit rich for Xbox players to moan about this, because how often did we see this in the Xbox days?
Yeah, the shoes on the other foot now, isn't it? Times have changed.
Tomb Raider, that was a year-long. That was a whole game, year-long exclusive. So it's a little bit rich, I think, for people to be moaning. But I can kind of understand why people are upset. If you're a massive Call of Duty fan, and Xbox is your main console, you'd be pretty annoyed by this, I'd imagine, because especially because a lot of people like sort of the zombie survival type modes. So
I'm with you though. I understand their outrage, and I think you hit the nail on the head just saying that they just direct it the wrong way sometimes.
I agree.
Like,
it's very easy though, isn't it? Like,
it is,
if you're going to be pissed off with something, you're obviously going to load up like a forum or a subreddit on the game. You're not going to go looking for the publisher. You're going to go looking for the game, and it's just an easy place to rant.
True. You just got to try and somehow make sure that Activision are the ones receiving it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you said, it's harder.
I would also say as well, like, if you're a dev, like, don't take it to heart too much. Like,
no,
don't read the comments and think they're aimed at you personally.
Depends on the person though, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah,
the person behind it. Some people can just look at a thing and think, it's not my problem.
It's probably...
I didn't do that. And then others will be like, hey, that's my game. I've worked on that. I'm going to defend it.
That's true.
It is difficult for them, I guess, because like Sid said, it's not their decisions.
Yeah.
But, look, find me a game that doesn't get some form of criticism these days. It's not going to happen. So, I mean, he even said in the article, like, he's thick-skinned, or like some of us are thick-skinned, but this is getting a bit too much.
He's clearly not one of them.
Yeah, like, clearly not you, man. But not just that, like, this is probably like tip of the iceberg with it. If they're getting frustrated with it now, then what when things roll on? Because as you mentioned, like, it's not just the exclusivity, which is contentious in itself, it's the potential microtransactions now. And if you think back to Black Ops 4, which was a game that we all, well, at least the Blackout side of things, we all loved it. We all loved it.
Yeah, I really did enjoy it.
But from like a publisher's perspective, they launched the game without like a battle pass or
Yeah.
like DLC or being able to buy like sites like red dot sites or reticle changes. None of that was in it, so they got it out early, they got the review scores, and then what was it, like a month after the release
They put them in.
they piled in these garbage
Yeah.
microtransactions that no one liked or wanted. And everyone's thinking they're probably going to do the same again,
Yeah.
which they didn't deny. And then they also didn't deny that they could potentially add in pay-to-win microtransactions, which I will say I don't think they'll do. But just deny it. Like, just flat out say, no, we're not going to do that. Like, yeah, okay, you'll probably expect some kind of, maybe not loot box, but something to spend your money on down the line. But for God's sake, just appease people in the fact that it's not going to influence the game.
I don't know how companies and stuff make so many bad PR decisions. Do you know when they've had... I mean, it's been years now with microtransactions. They're always debatable, a hot topic. How have they not worked a way around it yet to make good PR? I know people don't like being worked around, but companies think about this all the time. I don't know how they keep making similar choices that gets backlash.
I do wonder, though, whether it's... Maybe they're thinking, well, it doesn't even matter. Like, we make that much money off these things.
That is a good point,
Even if the PR is bad for a while, who cares? Like, long term, I don't think it's a great strategy long term. Because long term, you build a lot of, we've seen with especially with EA and Activision, they're the worst culprits.
Yeah.
People really do hate them companies.
Yeah, but they buy the games.
They do still, but I think long term it could one day bite them and bite them. But I don't know. I do feel like that's the thing where they're like, it doesn't even matter really anymore. Like, if we get PR, we're probably going to get bad PR anyway about the game. There's going to be people saying it's violent or it's something. So who cares? Like, we'll just put these things.
As I touched on, the problem is people buy the games. At the end of the day, if you have a big problem with it, even though it's really hard to do not to buy the game, but that's the only way you're going to get through to them, really, isn't it? If their sales, like say if FIFA 20 came out and people were unhappy with something and said, no, I'm not buying that, don't want that, and their sales drop.
I wish I was one of those
You
people.
wish. That they would make changes. They'd have to. Look at Battlefront 2.
But are they cutting them
They
off
had to, didn't they?
despite their own face? Because I do feel like if there's, say there was a massive mass boycott, well, they'd probably just have even more deals with Sony, wouldn't they? Because the metrics would say, less and less people are buying it on Xbox, so we'll just increase our thing on Sony's machine.
I think I was more going with the microtransactions rather than the
the actual exclusive. Okay, fair enough. Well, the metrics, you'd have to have them.
Yeah,
from both
everyone
sides.
would have to come together.
Yeah, that's the
basically.
thing. Like, you would
That's
actually need a boycott. Like, one or two people saying, "I'm going to boycott this. I'm going to make a big difference." Is not.
And how many people say they're going to boycott and buy the game anyway?
Yeah.
This game's going to sell a lot of copies.
Yeah.
Call of Duty, it sells
going to
every
be one
year.
of the biggest selling games of the year.
I'd assume
so
I would guess right now it's probably going to sell more than last year's. Because people
I'd
are
say
like
so.
back to
I'd agree, yeah.
back to the roots.
Yeah.
People are excited about the
We're
campaign.
going to get it, aren't we? All the three of us.
We're going to get it. So, I mean, we're not, but I'm
Where do you fall on microtransactions in general? I think cosmetics, they don't bother me at all. But then when it starts obviously
remember
getting
when
into
they
pay to win, then it's a bit like, come on.
I remember when
Yeah,
they first
okay.
came out, and I was a big, like, I hate this. I really hate this. Anything about them. But the more the time's gone on, the more I think they're just a reality now. It's just the way you're never going to stop them now.
I think that's it.
And-
Like,
Sorry, just to
thought you
finish my
finished.
point, all I was going to say is the difference for me is between the pay-to-win ones and the cosmetic ones. The cosmetic ones, I actually don't care.
Yeah.
Like in Overwatch, they're all cosmetic, aren't they? Couldn't care less.
If you want to spend your money on that.
If people
fine.
want to dress up
But-
in skirts and fairy costumes or whatever and go around, it's like, or they want to dress up in like whatever they want to dress up in, unicorn helmets, whatever
Yeah.
it is, it doesn't bother me. You paid for it. It's not affecting the game.
yeah.
But the pay-to-win ones, a la FIFA, Ultimate Team, a la, ones we saw in Call of Duty recently,
Like
or
Gears 5.
Gears 5,
Yeah.
Gears 4,
Well, yeah.
probably even worse.
Gears 4 and Gears 5.
Gears-
It's worse now because they've got
Well,
Escape
yeah.
as a new game mode, so you can also.
I mean, that's
pay
a
to
whole
win
new
that.
topic we could talk about. I saw Rod Ferguson replying to people on Twitter about that. People very angry and
Why,
stuff.
what
And
was
he
he
was,
saying?
well, he was denying it, saying like, no, it's
Oh, dear.
because of the way the supply drops were. Oh no, you can get everything and stuff. But it's like, yes,
Yeah,
Rod.
yeah, you
But the
can.
problem is they take so long
Yeah.
to get and level up. And people saying about it's ridiculous. No one wants blood sprays. The blood spray thing. You
Yeah, no one cares.
Who cares? People want skins and want characters. No one wants blood sprays and banners.
People want the cards to upgrade their abilities.
Yeah.
They don't want a splash.
It's
Like, come on.
got off on a bit of a tangent, but I just think in general, I think the difference between pay to win and cosmetic is a massive difference.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like
Massive.
we live in an environment now, a gaming environment anyway, that like every game has microtransactions.
Yeah.
No matter how like aggressive they are or how subtle they are, like they're still there. And as a result of that, we also live in a time where any game that includes microtransactions is like condemned before it even comes out. It's a disgrace, and I think everyone's caught up in the fact that some of them can be really negative.
Yeah.
We've seen EA, probably the biggest culprit of a lot, Rockstar as well. It is almost criminal. So I think there's enough, well, not enough, but there's one or two like really bad examples of it that even when they're not too intrusive, they're just crucified before they even get out of the door. Like personally, I've missed the times where you just load up a game and there'd be no microtransactions, but that's
they
a
seem
different
so long
time.
ago now, don't they?
Yeah, like because cosmetics are cosmetics.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a Destiny guy. You can buy silver, you can buy cosmetic things in the Eververse, all you want. I played for 5 years. I've never spent a penny.
And you're a big player on it, to be fair.
So, like, I can go through that game seeing other people, like you said before, they're all different outfits. Some of them look cool, some look disastrous. Why would you ever buy them? But, like, that's my choice. Like, I don't care. They can do what they want.
I'm the same.
But as long as they don't, like, affect the future of a game, like, a game will, like, succeed or fail based on microtransactions. Like, for example, FIFA. If EA didn't have FIFA's microtransactions, EA would be in trouble. The initial sales would be great. The sales all year round would be steady. They wouldn't fall off a cliff. But we've seen it in the fiscal reports. Like they rely on, and if it didn't exist, well then FIFA wouldn't exist.
I think the microtransactions replaced because they've reduced the amount of games they make, haven't they?
Yeah.
So then microtransactions have replaced the revenue they'd get from the Dead Spaces. Them sort of games they made in the past. They've replaced that.
No wonder they're fighting so hard in the courts. Where is it? Belgium again?
Yeah.
Is it Belgium?
There's even rumours in this country.
Yeah,
UK.
It,
so
yeah,
we'll see how that goes. But see, I don't necessarily think the packs should be banned. I just think they need to be done differently. The packs themselves need to be done differently. You should know. I think there should be a percentage for a start off.
This is what the courts are going for, really, on the American legislations.
They should do like maybe an 80 to 85 rated player. There's a 20% chance of getting one in this pack.
Is it similar? Is it like that on PES? Because you remember the packs you
PES
can get?
has
they do have a
percentage. Yeah.
And the more you buy, it changes because you're not going to get the same thing.
I think that's how they should do it, FIFA.
Yeah. Well, I think as well that one of their biggest problems is obviously the age. Yeah. But
I do think
it's really hard to put it because how easy is it to get around that?
But we've actually seen it incredibly.
I mean, their worry is that people are going to start going, if they know the percentage is so low, they're not going to buy. But I think it might actually, maybe it'll increase because then people would be like, well, I'm willing to, if I know what the percentage chance is, it's like a lottery ticket. I'm willing to take I mean, not as bad as a lottery ticket. The scratch card's probably a better example, isn't it? Yeah. Because the scratch card's like 1 in 4 chance of winning, isn't it?
Pretty much.
If people know that, I think people are more likely to actually go, I might buy the odd pack now and again just to.
I think it's definitely like even if like. I'm way past the stage of buying things like that anyway. I used to when I was younger, like you did as well. You never really got into it.
I never did, no.
So it's like...
Much money we wasted.
Yeah, like
I earned the money by winning games. Back when I could.
Yeah, and you'd buy like 1 pack every week or something like that. So it's like... I wish back then we would have had like percentages and stuff when I was involved in it. So I think they're not just going to go away unless they get banned across the board, which is not going to be for a long time yet, I don't think. So percentages or like percentage chances at least, they're good. That would be a positive enhancement to microtransactions. But I mean, they're not in this year's game.
True.
Nope.
So it's at least another year out. And like even if they're not in the game, I mean, one step at a time, at least have them viewable online. I mean, I wish they were in the game, don't get me wrong, but at least have like a spreadsheet of stuff to access. If that's the first step in getting to where they need to be with it, then that would be, off the top of my head anyway,
funny because,
a decent idea.
What they're looking at, we know for a fact they'll have percentages. They know exactly.
Well, that's the thing. The
they'll have a spreadsheet of
there's
they've got all the
algorithms.
data. Yeah, exactly. Algorithms. They've got everything they need to know.
It's just not visible to us, and I think I'm not saying that I would go back and start to spend money on it, but I would appreciate more that when I look at the store, I mean, the store hasn't changed. It's the same cost for the same amount of FIFA points as it was like 10 years ago. So nothing is changing, nothing's updating. The players aren't any more informed. It's just spend 80 quid for the 12,000 FIFA points. You might get a good player, you might not. Spend £7, you might get a better player. So I also
think they should reduce the price.
The price is extortionate.
I think for me that should be half that price.
Yeah.
For 8,000, you should get £12,000, isn't it? You should get 24,000 points if you want to spend 80 quid.
That's a
Or
lot of money.
Or
isn't it?
vice versa, make it 40 quid for the 12,000. You know, that's still a lot of money for FIFA points, for even 40 quid for 12,000. So it's 80s.
Yeah, no, it's
It's not changed, but it's
Biggest
crazy.
problem is that people buy it, so they're not going to change it.
I'm actually surprised it hasn't gone up
Yeah, same. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure.
because
They could be like,
everything else.
if we
has.
just make a little £5 more,
Yeah.
people will go, oh, it's not too much. But obviously, it adds when you
$84.99
got millions of people playing the
instead
game.
of $79.99.
Yeah, all of
Yeah.
a sudden that adds to a lot of money,
Well, because that's their like biggest form of revenue. It's
Yeah.
like that £5
and they don't really
per
care
person
about
who's doing
morals that
it.
much, do they?
They don't care about morals at all.
No.
So yeah, I'm shocked that in the years that have gone by, like influx has happened all over the place, and they've kept those the same. So they probably look for some kind of credit there, but in the reality is they should cost less.
Yeah, I agree, and I think we all agree on microtransactions. Cosmetic is fine, but pay to win is
No, it shouldn't be in the game.
shouldn't be
Shouldn't
in the
be,
game
no.
at all.
And don't let it affect development. Like
No.
still make the game the game.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, we'll move on to our next topic of the day, and that is the Last of Us Part 2 multiplayer isn't happening. Will return in the future in some form. However, Naughty Dog did release a statement on this, so I just want to get it up here. We wanted to address multiplayer in The Last of Us Part 2. As we've stated, the single-player campaign is far and away the most ambitious project Naughty Dog has ever undertaken. Likewise, as development began on the evolution of our factions mode from The Last of Us Part 1, the vision of the team grew beyond an additional mode that could be included with our enormous single-player campaign. Wanting to support both versions, we made the difficult choice that The Last of Us Part 2 would not include an online mode. However, you will eventually experience the fruits of our team's online ambition, but not as part of The Last of Us Part 2. When and where it will be realised, is still to be determined, but rest assured we are as bigger fans of factions as the rest of our community and are excited to share more when it's ready. So, there isn't going to be multiplayer in Last of Us Part 2,
No.
but they're going to have some sort of multiplayer in that universe going forward at some point.
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, I don't think it's a major surprise.
No, I mean it's a single player
Personally.
game, really, isn't it?
I mean, we've saw it with Red Dead where, they, 6 weeks later, they released their online mode.
Yeah, we tried it.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it.
Didn't work.
It was tough.
I kind of like it because it says to me they're focused on the single player. They know they want it to be the best game they can possibly make. And that's why it was similar to the Cyberpunk announcement. People moaned, and I was like, no, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
It shows they're focused on the single player. They're hiring additional people later on for the multiplayer. You should see. I mean, you used to might have seen this. Man, people moaning about it.
I know.
Really?
It's another expectation these days, though, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, multiplayer with everything.
we always say like
You
it's
have to have
tacked on,
multiplayer.
but if it's not there, then we're being shortchanged somehow.
I must admit, though, we agree, all three of us, I think, there is a space for single player games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a
And
great single player
not just any
story.
single player game either. Linear single player
Yeah.
games, because there's going to be a little bit of exploring. Last of Us 1, you could explore a little bit, but it was a set path,
Yeah,
and that's what you want in a game like this.
yeah, a great
So,
story as well. Story
They haven't tried
game.
to add on some stupid open world crap or hubs or anything like that. Can you imagine that? I mean, it'd be awful. So, I'm just happy that it's to me, how much is the game going to cost? £45, whatever it is, £40. It'll be worth it.
Yeah, it would.
I don't even need to. I know it'll be worth it because there'd be so much content in that game from a single player point of view. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I am interested to see, like, they talk about it being the biggest thing they've ever done, like, in terms of the scope. I mean, Last of Us 1 was a big thing. I mean, if you were playing it on, when it first came out, the PlayStation 3 that was available, it sounded like it was going to explode.
Yeah, it was.
It pushed the boundaries.
Yeah.
But that game had multiplayer.
It did.
So it was a really, like, high-end single-player game. One of the people would say it's one of the best games they've played.
Yeah.
And it included multiplayer. The scope wasn't small. So now they're talking about the scope, but there's no multiplayer. So I think I'm playing like devil's advocate here. If they could push the boundaries so much in the first one and still include multiplayer, I mean, technology's only gone further since then. So why can't they include both?
I think when they say scope, I think they mean in terms of the amount of technical, the advancement that it's going to make. I think that's what they mean by scope. We've already seen it with some of the animations and stuff. Like, they're not things you've seen in games before, really.
Yeah, I know, but like what I'm saying is the first one like had all those cool things as well.
Yeah,
like,
true.
Granted, like the second one does look better, like from a technical development point of view. I don't know. I mean, I played the multiplayer in the first one quite a lot,
You enjoyed it, didn't you?
and it was pretty good.
People like it, don't they?
They
People
definitely didn't harm the single player by having
No.
it. It didn't feel tacked on to me. I
No.
quite liked the 4v4 skirmishes. They were quite tactical and quite intense. So even if they had something like that with it, I don't think that would be a bad thing.
No.
But I will say this, like, and I know I've just looked at the other side of the coin, if you like, I don't think it's a bad thing either that we have to wait for the multiplayer.
No.
I'm quite happy for the single player experience to come.
The main
6,
selling
9,
point of this
12
game
months.
is the single player and the
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, of course it is.
Like that's the large focus on it, and the multiplayer with The Last of Us it probably isn't going to keep you around. It's not like a Call of Duty or anything like that. So I'm alright with it. Like either way, if it was included, I wouldn't feel like it was tacked on because I trust them after The Last of Us 1. And if it's not included, fine.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I do see your point, but I don't know. Some games I just feel like they just don't need multiplayer.
Oh yeah,
See,
some games.
That's the thing about this game. People did love the factions mode. I agree, and but if The Last of Us wanted to just come out without that mode, it wouldn't really make much difference to the reputation of the game.
Not
It
at all.
would
It
be
wouldn't have
judged off
changed
the
at
story.
all. Yeah.
No. So that's my argument for being like, well, actually, it's not actually necessary. Look, I think there's clearly good. They're going to do something because they know there's interest in it. And I mean, not just this isn't really me that's thought this, but one rumor I've seen is that it's going to be maybe a PS5 launch thing. You know, they have some Last of Us multiplayer ready for launch. Would make sense to build upon the hype of the game, especially if it's really. We assume it's going to be amazing. You know, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Because then people would be hyped for The Last of Us. And it's like, okay, we don't have any single player, but we've got a multiplayer component for you to try on PS5. I mean, I think that makes perfect sense.
Maybe it was a marketing ploy from the beginning.
Maybe.
I can see it now, like the PS5 launches with The Last of Us remastered, including the multiplayer mode.
Yeah.
Well,
that would
I'm
sell.
not so sure though, because with the way it's going to work now, with the backwards compatibility stuff, they don't really need to. I know what you're thinking from a cynical point of view.
I'm being incredibly.
You're thinking from the
facetious.
cash cow point of view, but technically, The Last of Us 2 should run perfectly fine on a PS5. It should run well on a PS5.
No, exactly. I am being cynical, but
You might be right.
I can
maybe
see
they
the
will do a
advertisements
remaster, but,
already for it.
You know, it wouldn't.
We joked
wouldn't
last
cost
week
them.
that they'd be doing a remastered for it. I mean, would you put it past them?
I wouldn't put it-
because they could make so much money.
I do think it's a low chance, but I don't think it's impossible. I think it could happen. It's like a maybe 20% chance, something like that. But because I think the whole point of these is the same with the Xbox now, isn't it? The PlayStation 5 is going to be the same. Everything from especially from PS4. They're probably not going to have everything before that, but from PS4 onwards, everything's going to work on PS5. Same with Xbox One to Xbox, whatever the hell they call it next.
Yeah.
That's
Project
the big
Scarlet.
thing. Whatever the hell it's called, Project Scarlet. So I don't think there's going to be quite as many remasters next generation. I'm not saying there's not going to be any. I'm sure there will be some, but I don't think. Do you remember how many was there at the start? It was so many.
Games are being
ridiculous
remastered that didn't need remastered.
You know,
like games were getting
Any
Bulletstorm,
spring out,
for
Bulletstorm,
example.
Borderlands got remastered. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, I enjoyed playing the remasters, but they weren't necessary.
Yeah, it's hard to actually think off the top of my head because there was so many. I just think Bulletstorm because that's one that I
Sleeping
actually
Dogs.
played. Sleeping Dogs got remastered.
Yeah, there was
Did
a
it?
lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I never actually even got around to playing that game. I heard it was good though.
So I think like remasters should stick in the, for example, like if it was around at a time where like Metal Gear 1 or like we've seen
course.
Crash or
Yeah.
Spyro, things like that.
That makes sense.
Whether you like them or not, remaster them, bring them up to date. I'm fine with that.
Well, the more
if
like
it's a
remakes.
game that come out
Yeah.
like 2 years ago,
No, that's
It
silly.
doesn't need a
like,
remaster.
it
If we
seems
start
unnecessary.
seeing, you know,
How long was?
if we start seeing Control remastered or Call of Duty Modern Warfare, that's when you know you're in trouble because it's like, come on, this is silly.
Well, we
What
did
was
see
the,
Modern
well,
COD 4
technically.
remastered.
Yeah, we did, and they're apparently doing the second one of that, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're remastering the second.
Yeah, I heard that
Modern
rumor,
Warfare.
but that's gone quite quiet recently.
That has gone
so
quiet.
I don't know.
Don't know what they're
Maybe it's
doing.
been
on
maybe
that.
cut or something. Or
Maybe.
Maybe for next year's one.
Maybe. But yeah, how long was the gap between the GTA?
A year.
Was that a year?
Same with The Last of Us, a year.
Yeah. Because obviously I bought both.
But they kind of make more sense, in a way, because
The jump was big, wasn't it?
jump
from
was bigger.
the previous
look
gen
at
to what we have now.
Look at GTA 5. They actually put the whole first person mode in the game, and that must have took some work. You know, look at Last of Us Remastered, looks a lot better.
Yeah.
And they added the DLC to it and stuff like that. So I don't really mind them ones too much, especially for massive games. It's these kind of like average 7 out of 10 games where they remaster them. It's like, did we really need this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it
the
came
game
out
was
2 years
fine.
ago. It was
It
alright.
was a good game on the 360, but do we really need it remasters?
Like Resident Evil, for example, like Resident Evil 2 was a great remaster.
I mean, that
and
needed
it's a completely different game. They're going to do 3. It's going to sell incredibly well.
You loved that game, didn't you? The remastered.
You could even make an argument for a proper Resident Evil 1 remake on maybe next year.
It's funny because they've already remade that on like
I mean, a
previous
proper
consoles,
remake
like
with good
previous
controls.
generations. Yeah,
Because still had horrible time.
Hey, speaking of games that need a remaster, Metal Gear Solid 1. I know they did Twin Snakes
Need
on
a remake.
GameCube or whatever that was, but
I just want
come
to
on.
say, at
Get
Checkpoint
one now
Reached,
on PlayStation
we
4.
at Checkpoint Reached,
PlayStation
we
5,
will
man.
champion this until it's made.
I
We're
know.
gonna
every week.
You know what? We'll make
If you're
it.
listening,
We'll make it. We'll remaster it.
Was it Konami?
Konami, if you're
Konami is
listening,
listening. We have no skills.
hey, Konami have as well been on a bit of a, they've started bringing out the Castlevania games again and stuff. So
Put it this
come
way.
on, Konami.
Konami, we'll make a better remaster than you made a Metal Gear Survive. By all accounts, that
Okay,
game was
well,
shocking. Do you
I was
remember?
the only one
We
actually
nearly
played it.
You
tried
can
that.
speak highly for that.
We nearly tried that. We both downloaded it, but
Did
then
you
you
play
said it was
the-
awful.
Was it a demo? Was it?
Maybe. Must
Maybe.
have been a demo.
You didn't play it,
Must have been a
obviously.
demo.
I think.
Or was
Maybe
it
a beta?
free to play for a bit? Maybe a beta.
Maybe a beta or
I
something.
don't remember, but when you started playing it,
It's on Game
looked.
Pass.
I looked online.
I'll be ignoring that.
The glitches were just so
I mean,
over the top.
it was.
Apparently, all you do is build that like.
The thing,
chain
what I would
link
say about the
fence
game
and
is,
stab someone
what I
through
would
it.
say about
That's
the
it.
game is, if it didn't have Metal Gear in the title, it'd be like a bang average 5.5, 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
But it's got Metal Gear in it, so it's like a 3 or 2 out of 10 because it's like, what is this? This
Yeah.
isn't Metal Gear. Like, it was. I enjoyed the first like maybe hour, but then I was like, what am I playing? Like after a while, you're just like, this is just what is this?
Crap.
This is the people that made in the past, in the past, absolute masterpieces of Metal Gear. I know it's mainly Kojima, but. And then you look at that and you think, what are they doing? But to be fair, they've started turning it around now because they've started actually bringing out. They're doing what people want them to do. Bring out the remasters and remakes, all the Castlevania games on the NES and SNES. They did the Symphony of the Night remaster last year, didn't they? With another one of the NES games. They've actually, I don't know if you've seen Contra. They brought out a Contra like remaster or something.
Going hard on the real.
Yeah,
old
they've
school
really
games.
the old school. So it makes sense. Bring Metal Gear back. That's another one of your classic games.
Bring
Come
it
on.
back. And you know what? Well, you're right. Remake Pez 4 or 5. The one with Henri and John Terry on the front. How good was that?
Yeah, it would, and I'd like to see like FIFA like have a bit of competition now. PES is like so far down right now. It's
Well,
like
it's not even called Pez anymore, is
So
it?
you'd want
esports
PES 5.
football or something.
You'd want PES 5 with the
eFootball?
latest and greatest graphics.
Yeah,
Like the squads
with
from
the
like
squads.
2005.
Yeah, I want
and,
like John
yeah.
and Arisa running
John
down the
Terry.
left wing, crossing it into Milan Baros.
One of my
All
first,
times have changed.
I
one of my first ever games, John and Arisa need it from 40 hours in the top corner against mine, and he went absolutely sick.
That's what we need.
How long was your winning streak against me? That
2 years or something? 3 years?
It was-
I don't know if it's quite 3 years, but it was a long time.
It was definitely over a course of a year, but in that year we played
A lot
a
of games.
lot.
Yeah.
You must have been over 50 games and beaten against me.
It all came crashing down
It
one night.
did. What was his name? Rod?
Hogger.
Hogger.
Otherwise known as Roger.
Yeah.
Roger from
Yeah.
Villarreal.
And of course, then you tried to make your comeback at Matty's house, and then it was a total disaster. Your comeback, wasn't it? A 4-0 loss on your opening game.
I don't believe that the game finished. It was never recorded.
Matty would back up that story, to be fair.
You would. Classic, just shoot at the goalkeeper and they collapse.
Oh, God, yeah. That was a thing on Pez for a while.
That's horrible.
Adriano on PES 6.
God, yeah, he was a cheat,
You could
wasn't
shoot
he?
from the halfway line with him. He'd
Remember-
blow the goalkeeper away.
Playing online on PES 6.
Yeah.
Like, you were either Inter Milan or Brazil. You
Yeah.
had no other team.
You had
Like,
to
you
be.
couldn't be anyone else. 'Cause
Yeah.
He was the best player by a mile.
He was.
So.
Good times. Remake that.
Strange marketing. Just because someone's on the front of the box, they get 99 everything. But
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
Well, shot power 99 on that game, it just didn't save it.
Yeah.
It was actually, speaking of cheats, who
No,
did you
yeah.
have?
What
Ian Rush.
Oh, yeah. Ian
We
Rush
used to play against each
on
other.
2017?
18?
When,
18. Yeah.
On Xbox. Yeah.
Xbox, yeah.
Oh, Ian Rush, the classic players.
Yeah.
He would.
I had
honestly,
Sergio Ramos at centre half in
was-
my master team, whatever it's
How
called.
would you describe Ian Rush? He was like
Messi times
Brazil
10.
Ronaldo, Michael Owen, Messi, Zidane, and Ronaldo all into one player.
couldn't tackle
He was
him.
ridiculous.
Could not tackle him. You know on Pez
No.
when it automatically will shift the ball as you've gone in for a tackle? He just
Yeah.
did that for him. And if he shot, that was it.
Tell you what, if Ian
Why
Rush,
did they make Ian Rush that guy?
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
But I tell you what, if Ian Rush, like I know he's a good player, Ian Rush, but if he'd have been that good, Wales would have won the World Cup.
I know.
It would have been like Maradona in '86.
Wait, how annoyed was
with
I
Ian
getting
Rush.
on that game? Because
It's
to be fair,
impossible.
me and you were playing before you got rushy. It was quite even.
Yeah, you probably would
Trade-
a bit more, maybe.
I don't
if
know.
you-
I think we just traded wins quite equally.
And Ian
Close
Rush came
games.
along
Ian
and
Rush
couldn't
came,
lose.
couldn't beat him.
The difference maker.
I'd score. It'd be like 1-1, and then he'd just give the ball to Ian Rush and run the left of the pitch and
There
score
was
the
even
winner.
games where you were like 2-0 up.
Yeah, I know.
And then Ian
Rushy.
Rush just came into his own and got a hat-trick. It was 3-2. So,
Oh.
my tactic was just pass it to Ian Rush. Just pass it to Rushy.
Yeah. What a cheap player. Anyway, enough reminiscing.
If you're listening,
and,
you were great on
nightmares.
Pez. So.
I doubt Ian's listening.
Probably not.
No,
But
it's not.
you never know. Might be a big game or Ian Rush. You know. Don't know.
Highly doubt it.
Probably not,
I highly doubt that, but you never know, right?
You never know.
Ian, you're a cheat.
He's crying
right.
out for a Pez remake as well.
He is. Anyway, we'll move on to the last topic we wanted to cover today, and it's actually a little bit of movie news.
Yep.
This was pretty big news as well a couple of days ago. Spider-Man is officially back in the MCU following Sony and Disney's announcement. Happy days. Happy days. This
Yeah,
comes after... this announcement comes after the news that broke last month that Sony and Disney could not agree on a deal, and Spider-Man would no longer be in the MCU.
So, is there a time limit on the deal, or is it like...
It just says they're making the third film together.
So
The third MCU film
Right.
together, and he's going to appear in a Avengers film.
it seems like this might be a
basically.
few years then.
Yeah, he's in it.
Maybe
for-
5-6 years.
He's basically
contract.
signed
Unless he
it
signed
there.
a decent contract. Yeah,
But they're splitting the profits, aren't they now?
apparently.
Splitting the costs, and then I think Disney gets 25% of the profits now.
And what was it they were asking for before that? 50%?
50.
Which was ridiculous, by the way.
Yeah, but they were off. Yeah, it was, but they were also offering to split the cost of production.
Ah, okay, fair enough. Well, obviously
Like
the profits
50-50.
must have been more than the cost,
Yeah, well.
from Sony's point of view. I guess.
Oh yeah, that was it though. Disney already still had the rights to everything
Yeah,
afterwards.
that was it, yeah.
The
Sony
selling,
were like,
the
no.
merch and stuff. So Sony were like, well, you're already
No.
making a shit ton on that.
Yeah. I will say about this, like, is anyone really surprised? I mean, when the news first broke that Spider-Man was out, come on, it was never going to
It
stay
felt
that way.
like it was the first part of the negotiations, and whatever either side leaked it because they were like, right,
Yeah,
like we're gonna get people on their back,
exactly.
either Disney or Sony. I don't know which one, and they've leaked it. So then when they've gone into negotiations again, it's like we can't not agree on something.
Yeah, like, the perception is everyone wants Spider-Man to be in it.
Yeah, I do.
So,
Spider-Man's one of the best.
I mean,
I mean, I know
arguably-
you disagree. He
He's arguably the
disagrees.
best.
He disagrees.
The
He doesn't
best?
like Spider-Man.
I would.
Jeez.
How do you not like
Arguably.
Spider-Man?
I don't know.
I should have brought my mask for
He's
this.
most famous.
I've got my Spider-Man.
You think of the MCU as Spider-Man. Sorry, but that's just a fact. You think of the comics, I mean, it's Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
He's the most recognisable, and that's why there's been...
That
such
might
a-
have changed after the films, though.
I don't know, I still think Spider-Man
I would still say Spider-Man, but obviously with Iron Man and
True.
the new generation of kids.
Yeah. What a side point I did want to make was, I wonder if... So this deal, was it for all use of Spider-Man in everything?
Well, like, you're talking about the games.
Yeah, well, I'm
Oh,
thinking...
right, no idea, actually.
Because if it was, I'm thinking, maybe that had something to do with Sony thinking of, no, you're not, because the first game sold, what, 15 million copies?
Yeah.
And Disney, if this is true, would be making a bit of money off that.
I'd assume so. They must have, because obviously it's,
I mean, you would
publishing
imagine
rights and
they
stuff
get
like
some
that.
sort of... It might not be the same,
Given the
maybe a
license.
different deal or something, maybe. But if it is, maybe Sony thinking, well, we're going to obviously make a Spider-Man 2. If that sells 15, 20 million copies, we don't want Disney getting
Which it
half
will.
the money.
Oh yeah, it's such a good game.
Yeah, so maybe that was part of their thinking as well.
Well,
So it's probably everything to do with that, you know. So
I mean, I'm assuming all the games will be unaffected.
yeah,
Because even when it was announced
They were
that
gonna
he
be
wasn't going to
unaffected,
be
yeah,
the
so maybe
MCU,
not,
he
maybe
wasn't affected, was it?
I could be wrong.
That's
on
good.
that, but
Yeah.
you know,
But to be fair, Sony did make some shit Spider-Man films, so I'm glad they've come
did.
together because
They did.
the MCU's made Spider-Man great again. Come on, The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, terrible films.
Crap.
Great
Tobey
film.
Maguire Spider-Man,
Yeah, they were good.
cult classics until the third one,
Yeah, the third one.
when he starts dancing down the street as Venom.
First two are good.
Whatever he was, emo
First one's the
Spider-Man.
best. Second
Yeah.
one's pretty good. Third one, yeah, kind of it was going downhill at that point.
Yeah.
It was time to end it.
Sam Raimi.
And then yeah, them Amazing Spider-Mans.
Oh, I can't believe how bad they
Terrible
are.
films.
Oh god, they're a struggle
So
to watch.
bad.
Just the irony in the name.
He
The
so does not.
amazing
He just
I
does
know.
not suit
Spider-Man.
being Spider-Man at all. To me, I honestly don't. I didn't think he suited Spider-Man at all.
I thought he was a good Spider-Man with the costume, or good.
Yeah,
he was
but Peter
decent.
Parker.
But Peter Parker.
Oh,
I mean, Peter Parker's meant to be a bit of a geek, isn't he? You know,
I actually
he's
think
a
that's
bit,
where
a bit socially awkward, and yet he was like the cool hipster Peter Parker who was like skateboarding around the high school.
Oh, I
Do
didn't
you know what I
like it.
mean? Like with
Yeah,
his
it
big
makes
quip.
no sense.
It's like-
very
Makes
cringy.
sense.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not like a
Yeah.
geek.
I get what
Do
they
you
were
know what I
trying to
mean?
do.
Yeah.
He was like more hip.
They were trying to make it a bit different and stuff.
Yeah,
but
no, but it's shit.
that's where I think Tom Holland's the best
No.
Peter Parker.
I
For me,
agree.
I don't
agree.
even
I liked
necessarily
him.
think he's
I
the
like
best
him.
as Spider-Man. You could probably say that's probably Tobey Maguire.
Toby.
But as Peter Parker,
Yeah.
Tom Holland is the most believable.
At least-
to me, he's the most
Well, at least
believable.
Tom looks like he could go to high school.
And he's actually looks yeah, Peter
Why, I
Parker's
look pretty old.
In Spider-Man 3, Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire looks like he's about 40. It's like, he's supposed to be in college, apparently. Like
See, the thing is, though,
he's
for our
40.
like age group of generation, Tobey Maguire is the nostalgia,
Yeah,
isn't
of
he?
course
He's
he
the
is.
classic.
Yeah.
He
But
did a
I
great
do
job in
think
them
Tom
films.
Holland's my favourite Peter Parker. Now.
I agree.
Even though I'm not a big Spidey fan, I can't disagree with
As
that.
Peter
Like,
Parker,
yeah.
Tom Holland's the guy when it comes to Spider-Man.
Just suits it.
I haven't seen the latest film, though, so I got put off. But
Well, you haven't seen it
no, I haven't seen it. I got put
with
off.
Mysterio, Jake.
Did you get
Chill
put
with him.
off?
Well, yeah, Sophie said it wasn't very good, so...
Sophie's a liar.
You loved it, didn't you? You
Yeah.
liked it. Well, no, you said it wasn't quite as good as the first one.
First one I thought was
Yeah,
better,
I
but
like the
that's
first
no, like that's
Yeah.
no
But I
nothing
haven't
against the
seen it,
second
so-
one. I'm not saying it's crap. It's good. I think you'd like it.
Maybe. I'll probably watch when it comes, like when it's cheap or something, or maybe it'll go on Netflix or something.
Yeah.
They've been no, probably not because they've taken everything off Netflix. On
So yeah, because they've got the Disney,
Disney
Plus. A lot of
Disney
Star
Plus,
Wars
by the
stuff.
way, that seems like good value. I was skeptical at
Yeah.
first, but then I've seen what's on it. It's like, wow, this is.
There's loads. MCU stuff, Star Wars, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it's like old stuff.
Yeah, but a lot of it's new.
They're making that like Mandalorian and stuff.
Yeah,
aren't they?
Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan.
I-
He's back.
I'm
back.
tempted.
Obi-Wan's the... I want to watch the Obi-Wan one. I don't want to watch... I will watch the Mandalorian one, but
Yeah.
I'm not really hyped.
When's it out?
I know
Is
a
it
lot of
this
people
year?
are hyped. I'm not actually sure. I watched the trailer for it.
I want to see more. Like
Yeah.
we watched the trailer around the same time, didn't
we
we? And
did.
it was kind of like, yeah, it's Star Warsy, looks alright, but what's actually going on?
The
Like,
biggest problem with me is I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I prefer it with Jedis.
same.
That's why I'm a big Star Wars fan. I love the Force and
Although-
Jedis and lightsabers. Whereas when you get to the nitty gritty of being a soldier, yeah, it's different, and I could potentially like it, but it doesn't always it doesn't hit me the
True,
same.
but Rogue One was a
Quality film, yeah.
great film. That
And
didn't,
it-
I mean, it had the bit with Vader at the end, but
Arguably the greatest scene ever in Star
it
Wars.
is the greatest scene ever for me.
Yeah, when he just tears through.
I think it's amazing.
Shout out to Spencer Wilding.
I don't
who,
even think-
trained us in mixed martial arts
Many years ago.
many years
What up,
ago.
Spence?
Hey, he did a great job. He does a great
Did I
job,
threw
Vader.
up on his shoe as well?
That's your claim to fame.
I know. I was
That's
on a night
amazing. I
out,
can't
and
believe it.
apparently I don't remember this, but the lads I was with said, "Yeah, you threw up on Spencer Wilding's shoe." They thought he was going to batter me, and he just laughed
Seems alright,
and
that.
tapped me on the head. So thank you for that, Spence.
Thanks,
'cause-
mate.
I certainly wouldn't do it twice, though.
No,
Probably
I mean
where
it's
it
safe
did
to
it
say he was a professional
He might not,
kickboxer. And he was Darth Vader. I'm pretty sure he'd have beat me up.
You threw up on Darth Vader's shoe.
That's your claim to fame.
Yeah, but
You go to your grave with that.
I know. But Darth Vader also trained us in
Yeah, it's
mixed
true.
martial arts, so that's a better claim to fame.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
One point I was going to make just about that scene, by the way. I don't think. Well, we know they didn't. They didn't even realise how impactful that scene was going to be.
Yeah, I know.
They almost cut it.
Did they? I didn't
Yeah,
know
they
that.
almost cut that from the film,
Glad they
Wow.
didn't.
and that film would have been. It was still would still been a good film.
Yeah.
But with that, it's
It was like a mini horror moment.
awesome. Oh, I love
Yeah.
that scene
You
so
know,
much.
the red lights flashing and that
And you
guy's
hear
just
the,
banging on the door.
What I love is you hear the
Yeah.
sirens, and it's like, oh, it's so good.
It
You
is
know they're
good.
in trouble.
What a
That
great,
scene.
great film.
I could talk about that scene for half an hour, to be honest with
I
you.
know.
love
It's, I love Rogue One. I feel like you weren't as big of a fan as me and Sud.
I didn't really care at the time. Like we went to the cinema.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure we all went together.
Yeah.
And it was kind of I come away from it thinking like, yeah, that was all right. Again, like you was like, it's a good Star Wars film, but like
It's-
I want more lightsabers. I want more Jedi's and Siths and stuff. But to be fair, I watched it back again like pretty soon afterwards, and it's a lot better than I thought
Yeah,
first time
yeah,
around.
it's a
It's
film
really
you watch
good.
2 or 3 times and it gets better every time you watch it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I actually realise now this is a great
Better
film.
than Last
Like,
Jedi.
Oh, don't get me
Like it takes
you're gonna get
much.
me. You're gonna get me into Sud's rants here because
I know.
that film is a billion times better than Last Jedi. The Last Jedi in the same universe as Rogue One.
Yeah, that's split the fan
Don't get me
base.
started on Last Jedi.
If you've
again.
ever listened to the Checkpoint Reach podcast before, you will know that we are not Last Jedi fans.
We are not.
No,
No.
I mean, that's all I can do is shake my head at.
That
It's
sums
just
it
so
up.
bad.
That's
It's
all
a
you
terrible
need.
film.
You're getting ready to explode.
And
it feels
do you know
like.
what? I'll even call anyone out that defends it because it's undefendable. That film, it's terrible. Because people do defend it, don't they? Oh, it's not that bad. It is terrible. It is terrible. Put it in the comment. It's a
You've
terrible
been told.
film.
It's terrible.
If anyone in the comments wants to tell me it isn't, they're fine and welcome, but it's not. It's a terrible film.
Is it the worst though? Because
It's the worst.
Attack of the Clones
Worst.
and the Solo film. No, that Solo film wasn't great, but I'm not gonna say it's the worst.
I haven't
actually.
seen that
It's
one, to be
okay.
fair, so.
It's okay. But Attack of the
worse.
Clones.
Worse than Attack of the Clones. I mean, I remember when we first came out of the cinema, I said maybe, no, I think it's Perks because you didn't come with us. I said the only film that's worse is Attack of the Clones. But I've
you
watched
did.
Attack of the Clones since, and I haven't watched Last Jedi.
But he doesn't like sand.
I don't care.
He doesn't like
I don't care if he doesn't like sand. It's still a better film.
See,
It's a better Star Wars
it's better
film.
better
It's a
story.
better Star Wars film. It's a better story.
Because obviously Vader's arc.
That's
But
Yeah, it's still rough going. But neither of them are good.
It's literally sending a shiver down my spine. Last Jedi.
I mean, it just-
It's awful.
it reminds me of thinking that they were running out of fuel. When's that ever been mentioned in a Star? We don't need that much realism in a Star Wars
No.
film.
I mean, Luke drinks blue milk out of like a cow's udder or something. I mean, what is this? What
Yeah.
are we even watching?
And he really
Like,
emphasises it too.
and there's a terrible mum joke in the first 5 minutes. I remember
Oh,
that.
that mum joke is
We were
crazy.
in the
It's not
cinema.
even just once though. Like they just keep going.
The jokes
for
weren't
it.
Star Wars jokes.
No.
But as soon as I heard that first 5 minute joke, I was like, this film.
The problem is though, like
Knew
The
it straight
jokes were
away.
Borderlands jokes.
Yeah,
To
yeah,
be
it did
fair.
suit Borderlands. It
Yeah.
didn't suit,
See, the thing is though,
Star Wars.
like when you think back to the humour in the original, the humour comes from people like Harrison Ford because he's cooler.
Yeah.
He's not cringy stuff.
They
It's just
try
like when
and
he's having
force-
that chat, isn't he? He's like, everything's fine here, thank you.
Yeah.
How are you? And he's like, I don't want to talk anyway. He shoots it.
It's good acting.
Yeah, that's different. He ain't going, yeah, your mum.
No.
From a commander that we've never even seen before.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's just
Come on.
But I think in The Force Awakens, to be fair, there wasn't too many jokes in that one, but there was just enough a bit of humour.
yeah.
It
Those
worked.
porgs.
Yeah, I love
sorry.
the porgs. And that's
Porgs
Last
were
Jedi.
good.
That's Last
Yeah,
Jedi, so
Porgs were
that's
good.
one redeeming feature about
Oh, was that Last Jedi?
It
Jesus,
was,
that
yeah,
wasn't
Porgs
Force
were Last
Awakens.
Jedi.
Oh, BB-8.
Yeah, I mean,
When he puts the thumb up in Force
Yeah.
Awakens, that was hilarious.
yeah,
See,
okay.
that's
I didn't mind
that's
that.
fine. That's
And that's
Star
also
Wars
Star
humour.
Wars humour,
Yeah.
specifically.
But then you've got just the other stuff, and it's like The Last Jedi. I mean, the casino. Oh, God, the
Yeah,
casino.
don't.
that
that
went
called
on
again?
Oh
forever.
God, that casino. That
What's that
casino.
place
It's terrible.
called?
Oh,
Oh, something.
casino scene is
I know it's the worst
Awful.
one, and I can. Oh,
absolutely awful.
County Bank or something. I don't know. I can't remember the name of the
Dreadful.
world, but it's awful.
Better left unnamed.
Yeah, better left than named.
So yeah,
Yeah, we need to stop there because otherwise
Yeah,
this is gonna
it's
this is
gonna be
gonna
a
take a
long
ran
turn.
all night
show.
on Last
I
Jedi,
know.
you know.
Because we actually want to finish on a quiz,
That's the inaugural quiz now.
the inaugural one,
Yeah.
and this is going to be a quiz on the Halo series.
Cue the music.
I'll play that.
It's a good effort.
Yeah. So this is going to be the Halo quiz. We tossed the coin before, flicked with the coin, tossed the coin. We just tossed the coin out
Well,
there.
that's actually a card. You did
Yeah, well, we did whatever.
Luke's
Perks-
bank card.
Yeah, my bank card.
Bank
Perks
card.
is going first in the Halo quiz.
No pressure.
We're probably going to
Definitely.
try and do a quiz at the end of the show each week,
Yeah.
just a bit of fun. So we'll
Yes,
we'll be counting, totting up the winner.
We'll
at
be
the
telling
end.
of the wins throughout the
Wins.
year.
And I think the loser should have a punishment.
Oh God.
I think that's fair. We should
See
explain
what it is.
each individual will have 3 questions each
Maybe the
1 point.
loser can just ask to watch The Last Jedi.
and be filmed.
Oh, that really is pressure. Oh my God.
But yeah, you get 1 point for a correct answer. If you do get the answer wrong, it is passed over.
Okay.
So
I
Is
will.
there no
I
half
will
points
also
then this time?
just
No
say,
half
like, no
points.
half points, but I've been given the pre-warning that my questions are
well,
probably
there we go.
harder. So
Getting the excuses
No.
in early.
I said
probably.
because I should be honest here. I'm not a Halo fan, so even though I've picked the questions, I'm not sure what count as hard and what don't.
Yeah, it could be an easy
And
one.
I feel
It
like
could
one
be
of them
super
is the
easy.
hardest one I gave to Perks,
Right.
just because
We'll
that's
see.
just the way the order went. So we'll start with the quiz, yeah?
Let's
You
do
ready?
it. Let's
Okay,
do
Go,
it.
boys.
I don't know why, but the Millionaire music just went off in my head. Right.
I always get the first question wrong in quizzes.
I think you might get this one right. What song's that?
Yeah, Millionaire.
You did better
Is
with
it?
Halo.
Yeah. All right, well.
Right. Perks. How many rings are there in the Halo trilogy? including the destroyed one?
That's a tough question.
Wow.
I mean, I guess you can make an educated guess.
Hey! Don't help him.
I'm not really helping. I'm just saying, I guess it has to be a guesstimate, doesn't it? I guess.
I
That
feel
is a tough
like
question.
Halo
I got
trilogy.
even- I
So
think
the
that's a tough
first three Halo games.
I think you maybe deserve half a point if you get close.
How many rings are there in the Halo trilogy, including
Including destroyed
the
ones.
destroyed ones?
That's good. Yeah.
like
I'm trying to think myself.
just because like there's more than like it's not as easy to say like Halo 1 is a ring, Halo 2 is like there's more to this question. This is actually a really tough
This
start.
is hard.
And then this isn't the question that was supposed to be
This
tough
is an
either.
easy question, apparently.
Well, this shows my lack of Halo knowledge.
Wow. I'm gonna go for 3. It's not 3. That said 3.
Yeah,
That's
it's
my
incorrect. It does switch over to Suddy. He can steal a point here.
Okay. Do I have to get it exactly right?
Oh, obviously.
If you didn't, then
I mean,
I'll
it is a very
answer.
black and white question.
Alright.
It's a number.
Let me think. There's been 7 Halo games? There's not always a Halo ring in each one.
I'm going to put
There's
the
not always
clock
a
on.
Halo
I'm going
ring
to put
in
the
each
clock
one.
on. You've got 20 seconds.
Alright. There's not always a ring in each one. I'm going to go 5.
And that is incorrect.
Oh.
The actual answer was 7.
Wow. And do you know what annoys me about that? I said there's 7 games and there is 7 rings.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't correspond.
No. Like including
That's
the
a tough
destroyed
question.
ones as well. So
Yeah.
it wasn't unguessable, but it
was
it
tough.
wasn't my
Tough
first
question.
guess.
Okay.
I think I would have said 3, 5, 7.
Okay. I'm going to move on to you,
Pressure.
Suddy.
That's a good start.
Jesus Christ. Is this question super easy now?
I hope so.
It probably is now, isn't it?
Alright, let's do it.
Sud, which was the first planet that the Covenant, how do I pronounce them? Covenant tried to conquer? So, which was the first planet that the Covenant
hard.
tried to conquer?
There's so many planets in Halo.
It's the first planet.
Oh, I can't even remember the name.
At least then this adds up to being fair.
I'm really struggling to think of planet names. I mean, there's obviously an obvious.
Planet
There's a
names.
really obvious one it could
Solar
be, but I
system.
don't know if I want to say that because I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. I don't think it is
Answer any
the
planet
one
you
that
want,
we'd
my
all
friend.
think of first. For some reason, Star Wars planets.
I can tell you,
I think of, like,
it's not
Kashyyyk.
Star Wars
I
planet.
think Kashyyyk
They
or,
invaded
like,
Coruscant.
Yavin.
Tatooine?
Tatooine.
Tatooine?
I'm just gonna have to say Earth because I can't actually think of any planets off the top of my head. So
Passes
probably
over.
incorrect,
Passes
yeah.
over to Perks.
I don't- I knew it
Incorrect.
wouldn't
Earth is incorrect. I'll
I
put
actually can't even. Can you think of?
You got
planets?
20 seconds, Perks.
Wow.
It's tough. This is a tough quiz.
I'm going to use the whole 20 seconds
Yeah,
here.
you're gonna need it.
I'll let you know when you've got 5 seconds left. Which is now.
I'm going to say Saturn.
Incorrect. The answer is Harvest.
Well, I wouldn't have got that in a million years.
No, I was going off solar system
You've got
planets.
off Destiny.
No, it's not even in Destiny.
Right.
I was going off actual solar system
Well,
planets.
fair enough.
This quiz could be 0-0.
That
yeah.
was
could be.
that was a rough start for both. of
Well,
us.
this
Well, what
is
we're
going to
gonna
get
do
rougher now because this is the one I think's the hardest. And here we go, Perks. This is your
easiest.
Let's do
second
it.
Probably a
question.
really easy question.
What is Master Chief's service tag?
Like just the number or
Tag.
I feel like I'm gonna get scammed on this, but it's 117.
It is 117.
That was definitely 100 times easier, by the way, because I knew that as well.
Yeah, but there's actually a name before 117.
I know what it is.
Sierra,
No.
UNSC.
you and
No, it's John.
Well, yeah, I get. I mean,
I'll give
117 to be fair.
I'll give him the point.
yeah.
I agree. Perth should have got it. That is the tag. That's what I had.
Okay.
So
So 1-0 Perks.
that'll be the only easy question.
So that was an
Wow.
easy one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
compared-
that's
an easy
that's like a really well-known thing. But both of our first questions, they were really hard.
I mean, this
Okay.
might be an easy one, you know.
This is why I thought multiple choice would have been good though.
Possibly.
kinda
but-
gives
There's
you-
always next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
There's
is always
always
next
next
week.
Come
Anyway,
on then, throw it at me.
Sud, your second question. What Halo vehicle has a light plasma motor? Mortar?
I should know this. But again, it's kind of like I'm guessing between probably 2 vehicles, and one of them's going to be right and one of them's going to be wrong.
Oh wow, yeah.
Because it's... Well, I don't want I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, don't say it out loud just in case you give perks.
Well, I think he knows it's a certain.
Yeah, like for sure that I think this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for Wraith.
Correct.
Incorrect.
What? Really?
You'll get it then, I imagine.
Yeah, but like the Wraith does fire the mortar. Like the other one is.
There's probably one certain. I guess maybe it's some different.
Well, this is the
Alright,
answer
well,
I got off online.
I'm gonna have to go for the other obvious one then, but I'm not even sure this is right. I'll say Ghost.
No. It says answer here is Revenant.
Oh, okay. There is a Revenant vehicle. I think I know which one he means. It's not as common. I know which one he's on about.
That's actually a really like.
I
thought Banshee straight away. As soon as he had light plasma, I just thought Banshee.
Well, no, I thought you were 100% right with Wraith, because Wraith is the Covenant.
Oh, sorry, not Banshee, Wraith.
The Wraith
Wraith's
is
a
the
big
Covenant
one.
tank that fires a big plasma ball, which is a mortar.
Well,
that's a rough question.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
Well, apparently not. I mean, I thought that one was an easy one only because I don't know vehicles and thingy, so I thought
It would have been easy if it was Wraith.
Yeah. I would guarantee I would have said Wraith.
So going into the final question, Perks is leading 1-0, and I feel like Perks is going to get this one to wrap up the game. So Perks, your last
Don't
question.
do that to me.
Who is the main character in Halo Reach?
The main character,
That's
like
quite
they
tough.
all have.
There is one main one though. I don't know why I'm saying I'm getting like helping you in.
Yeah. Don't, lad. You need this.
It's tough though. It's tough to.
Like, I'm not gonna get this. There's. Like, I'm sure other people would disagree. Like, there should probably be an obvious one, but like the game is made around them all being like main protagonists. Wow.
Who is the main character
Trying to remember
in
names.
Halo Reach?
I know, right? Like, I know a couple of them, but
I
like,
know some names, but I don't know.
I don't think they're the main characters.
I've got one on the tip of my tongue. That's so annoying.
I think you guys are going to be annoyed when I
I've
give
got
the
a
answer.
name on the tip of my tongue, and now I can't remember.
I feel like you guys will be annoyed when I give the answer.
Can't remember. I can't remember.
I'm going to have to push you for an
All
answer.
right, like, I don't think this is right, but I'm gonna go away from some of the obvious Reach characters that I know it definitely isn't. I'm gonna say Locke.
Incorrect.
It's not a Locke. I was trying to be clever.
Sud.
This is
You're
so
on the
annoying
clock.
because I feel like I've got the person in my head,
Yeah.
but I can't remember the name.
I feel like you guys are going to be really annoyed when I give this answer.
Halo Reach.
Yep.
Yeah, like
And you've
I just was making sure it wasn't like.
and you've
you-
got 5 seconds left, mate.
I can't remember his
3,
name, so I'm just gonna say Cat.
2.
I know it's not Cat.
No,
No.
incorrect.
like,
just couldn't think
Emil
of it.
wasn't right either. Emil
No,
was the other.
correct answer is Noble 6.
And it is actually no called Noble Six. There's another one I was
Yeah,
thinking
like-
of as well that's in it. Like,
See, on the multiple choice it was
Yeah.
Nobles,
Right.
but obviously number
See, even though I think like that's probably quite easy when you hear Noble, I'm not sure I would have got the number. Like
No,
in a more, if
fair
it,
enough.
like if it was 4 Nobles, I
It's
probably
tough,
would have picked the wrong
I thought you
number.
guys would have been a bit more annoyed because you were thinking of names, so
Yeah,
Locke
like
and stuff, and you were
ties.
thinking, yeah,
So this is to tie basically.
this is the tie.
No pressure. Then.
So your last question, I
got
again,
scammed
I
a
feel
little bit
like-
on the last one.
I
So.
feel like this.
Yeah.
I feel like this is an easy one,
All right.
but then again, I'll
It
be
probably
way
is.
off
Well,
with
we
my
thought that was
judgment
easy,
there.
yeah.
Sud, your final question: who is the main antagonist of the Halo series?
Oh. Well, again, you could argue there's 2 or 3.
you could.
Yeah, but I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name. I've got the image of it.
Who is
of the
main
creature?
antagonist of the Halo series?
I'm thinking back to another game where it was prominent. Oh, what's his bloody name? I can't remember its name. Oh, wait there. Let me just think. I'm really trying hard now to think of the name of it.
I'm waiting for that clock to kick.
Yeah, it's
You know,
gonna,
you
I'm gonna
thought
have
now,
to.
you've got-
I'm gonna
you've
have to
got an
push you.
answer, yeah.
I'm gonna put
20
the clock
seconds
on.
left.
20 seconds.
What's it called? I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember the name of the thing. I know it as well. I know what it is. I just can't.
5, 4,
I don't remember.
3, 2.
No, I
One.
can't remember. Sorry.
Oh, he's passed
I'm gonna
away.
Pass it over for a 2-0 victory. Even though you've won, but
All right, I'll give my answer first. I'm going to say Gravemind
no, incorrect.
because that was the thing controlling.
Can I just say, is it the thing in the chair?
I don't know what the thing in the
What
chair
was
is.
the
The answer is the prophet of truth.
It is. I knew it. I knew. it
Would
was
you
the
have said
prophet.
truth though?
I'd have said prophet. I think maybe not truth.
Yeah.
Because there's three. There's prophet of truth. Prophet of
I think you would have said prophet of regret because
prophet of regret. That's what I
yeah,
was going to
like, I'm
say.
pretty sure that's.
But
the
now
right
you've got
one.
that answer though.
No, because the answer is prophet of truth.
Yeah, because
He must be the actual main
on the
one,
multiple
maybe.
choice,
Yeah.
it says prophet of whatever you
I
just
just
said.
remember the
Prophet
prophet
of
of
regret.
regret
Yeah.
from Halo Wars.
on Halo Wars. That's actually that was a really tough question because
tough, but
the
it was-
main antagonist of the whole you could have said Covenant, you could have said Flood, Graydmine,
Graydmine.
any of the
Yeah.
prophets. That was rough.
Cortana.
Yeah, even Curveball,
So
Cortana.
it turns out that I thought I was given easy questions, but I gave
The only
pretty
easy
hard
question was the one you thought was going to be the hardest, as we
That's
predicted.
true. Yeah.
I mean, I think I was unlucky, very unlucky with the Wraith question. I've got to say.
Well, I
think
mate,
that was-
I would support that claim.
I know.
but
To be fair,
To be
it's not
fair,
your
I
fault.
can't
it's
say
it's
anything.
actually the question's fault, really.
yeah,
Blame
and
the quiz.
should be
I don't know the game well enough to be like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
It should have been either Wraith or Banshee.
Well,
One of those two.
unfortunately
It
for you,
definitely should
sir,
have
the winner of the first quiz,
Yes.
the Checkpoint Reach podcast quiz, is James Perkins, who takes a 1-0 lead.
I am
does.
delighted.
You are, because you'll be
Hey,
a footy man
there's-
case very soon if you lose.
There's plenty of time to make up the points. So.
There is.
That
plenty
does
of
not
time.
feel like a win.
No, it didn't. But it,
Well, you won.
It's underwhelming. That's a 1-0
I'll
classic away performance.
hang on.
Yeah,
I'll be.
Liverpool against Sheffield United, lad.
Yeah.
A win's a win.
I'll be the sports rhino manager come out and go, no, fair enough. You know, I'm not going to I'm not going to criticise the referee. No.
Yeah,
The
damn
referee.
right. The ref did nothing wrong. He just
I don't
got
like
questions
criticising. I
on.
don't like criticising the referee. So
Yeah.
I'll,
Well, anyway,
I'll take the loss.
that
Fair
does
enough.
bring the end to the podcast. And as ever, you can follow Checkpoint Reach Podcast on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Check Reach Pod. We're also on YouTube. So if you're listening to us on there, please like, comment, and subscribe, as that will help the channel to grow. If you're listening to us on audio, then thanks for listening and leave us a review if possible. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. Also, you can follow the guys on Checkpoint Reach. Not on Checkpoint Reach. You can follow the guys on social media. Where can people find you, Sud?
You can just find me on Twitter, so it's at David Tenspud.
Have your stuff, Perky?
I'm at JG Perks.
Love your stuff. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Leld, LEL3Ds, add a 9 on the end for Instagram. So yeah, thanks for joining us as ever. Another episode will be out next week as normal. Look for that on Wednesday, and we'll talk to you then. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.